Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? It's me, Paddy from across the shuck, and you're very welcome back to the channel. Well, we're doing a versus video, as you've seen by the title, where the Jack Wolf Gunslinger is taking on the Benchmade bugout. And I've picked these two, well, one because this is being released tomorrow, and all the details of how to find out where you can buy it, where the shops. I'd done a video a couple of videos ago. If you just look for it, you'll see my computer screen on the front of it, and it tells you where to find out all the places that sell it throughout the world, what the knife is for sale, and you can go through and get lovely close-up glossy pictures of it, and everything you need to find out about Jack Wolf I done in that video, and you'll see all the bits and pieces that come with this knife and come with all Jack Wolf knives. But I just thought to do a little bit different this time. This is, again, I said, a super popular knife, really popular. This is the most popular version of Jack Wolf knife. People are constantly asking this for being re-released. So with popular demand, Ben just said, right, okay, well, we'll do it again. It's been updated a little bit from the last time, bit more chamfering, but just things are made a little bit more. It's that continuing to improve what's already good. And that's what Ben does in this. And very much so with the bugout. It started off very basic with flimsy scales. These both have titanium scales. Yes, this is a titanium scale, and it is beautifully milled. Nice scale on it. Really gives the bugout. This is the way the bugout should have came in my eyes. I've got the deep carry pocket clip in it, nearly deep carry, and it's just a super rendition of a knife. Absolutely beautiful. And this has got 20 CV on it. This bugout, there we go. This bugout was the one that came from Workshop. It was their copy. It had yellow scales, and the 20 CV, that was its specialty. The yellow scales are lovely, and I've got them in the box there if I ever did want to go back. But the person I bought this from had already bought these black titanium scales and put them on it. So I was buying it as it was. And these two knives, with the upgrade on this here, there's next to nothing in price. These are 275 or 277, I think these ones are. But when you bought that Workshop one and then add on top the titanium scales, this from Titanium, that's where they're from. But when you put that, and this is the way this knife comes, the price difference is minimal. Once you're getting up to that price of knife, the price is minimal. And that's why I thought they were good to go together. Because I think people kind of get confused about what this version of Jack Wolf is. I mean, this is a completely modern knife, but made to look as if it's that old-fashioned knife with a checkering. The titanium all over looks nice. The titanium looks nice at any time, but you've got the checkering, you've got that gunstock pattern, so it reminds you, and a long pull there, or a fuller, whichever way you want to call it. So it reminds you of an old style knife, but it is by no means. It's probably one of the most modern knives out there. And so was this for its time. Do you know, I mean, this was just a hit right from the word go. It was based on its lightness, which soon really disappeared because people then started to add on their different scales, as knife collectors we do. And so the price started to go up because you were buying that basic knife and then adding, scales on. So it started to increase, and now it's up level with a Jack Wolf knife. Once you get now, if you want that 20 CV, you want the titanium scales, it's going to be near enough the same price as this, if not dearer in some case, depending on the scales you get. But I wanted to put them up and talk about them as knives. They're virtually the same size, maybe millimetre. There is literally just a couple of millimetres. This has your axis lock and a high sabre flat. There's a little bit of flat up there if you want to do your sharpening on a fixed blade. It's got the axis lock, and then you have this, which is just beautiful. Middle flick is my favourite, but it also you can slow roll it if you want to. Just pluck it out, slow roll it. And also on this knife here, you see this little thing? Oh, I'm terrible at that flick, for goodness sake. But two blades that are virtually identical. Don't forget, there is a difference here. These are literally a couple of millimeters. This is a couple of millimeters longer and no more. The handles are about the same length. This is a very neutral handle, and so is this. Because it's a single bladed gun stock, you have two fingers up the front and two at the back, and you have so much room. It's really laid out well. I don't even have to sneak up there to get full four fingers. The way this sits is just gorgeous, ready for work. So they both are very comfortable in hand. Both got titanium scales. The blades, this is 20 CV, and this is a big step up, S90V. Aesthetically, it's a matter of choice what you like best. It really is. This to me is a bit more tactical. I wouldn't feel completely comfortable taking it out in front of a lot of people. But this, with its aesthetic, looks absolutely beautiful. It is a big knife, there's no doubt about it. But when it's closed up and it looks like that, and you see that checkering, it takes all that, and you've got lovely blue accents and all this. I put the red thumb studs and a back spacer on this one. They came with gold, but I thought that looked nicer with the all black. These scales, they're lovely looking scales, but you really don't see the contouring because they're black. Now, if they were a different color, yeah, maybe that would definitely be something to worry about. But they're very, very nice, very well done, fit perfectly. So there's nothing really there. The big difference in this thing that I'm talking about is the S90V versus the 20CV. We don't need either of them. Let's just get there. We don't need either of them. If we start at the basic powdered metal steel of 30, S30V, they'd both be fantastic knives, even with that steel on them. But the fact is they're not. This is a much superior steel, much superior length of time you're going to be able to cut with this over the 20CV, which is a fantastic steel. One of my favourite steels, 20CV. But you have to tell the truth, this is S90V, which is a big upgrade. Now, let's go on to some. This one, if you want to disassemble it, it's quite complicated. Now, I'm going to say it's quite complicated. It's not if you do disassemblies, it's not complicated. But if it's something you don't really want to get into, this axis lock is probably not the best lock for you. This is very simple. This is just a typical frame lock. So simple to take apart, so simple to put back together again. This is on bearings, and it is just free. Absolutely beautiful. Really free. This has the axis lock, which yes gives you the the flickability. You can flick it back in. Oh, I didn't do that very well. You can just flick it back in again. It's got that lovely. But not only is it for me now, and this is mine, and this is mine, so I've got them both. But the axis lock, they didn't change the spring thickness, which I thought was a big mistake, and then. They know this spring breaks. Now, not to everybody. I've had 3 go on me, so maybe I'm a little bit unlucky and maybe a bit biased towards something else that's not an axis lock. But I've not had one go on this one. This is brand new, so I wouldn't expect it. But I did have a bug out once that I bought, and the spring went within the first week. So that's my only thing with them. If it's something you need that reliability for, if this is going to be your only knife and you're going to spend that money on it, it wouldn't be my first choice. Let's put it like this. But I do like the fact you can flick it open and that. It is nice. It is handy. But I mean, it's no more quicker than what this does. I just put my finger in and flick it out, and it comes back. It's a frame lock. Comes down lovely. It'll shut. I'm holding the pivot either side here. But it's not drop shutty. But you can open it lovely, and when you want to close it, you just do that. This is not. I'm going to try this again. Good gosh! Oh, there we go. I've done that yesterday so many times and it worked. But locking mechanism, which would I prefer? If you're a fidgeter, you're going to like this. If you're not a fidget, you're going to like this. I like this better. just mine. And these are all my opinions. Um, what are going to go on to? So behind the edge thickness in the blades, these are both slicing machines. Let me tell you, they're both slicing. The bug out is lovely. It is nice and thin behind the edge. You have a high grinder. It's a lovely slicer. But this behind the edge is like, you feel as if you're stroking your own finger doing along like that. It is so thin behind the edge, which makes it, for me, and I'll just show you. I mean, you can't really tell in this, but it just slices through, and so does this. They both slice really well, but I mean, I have to be honest, this is definitely so much thinner behind the edge. It's a full hollow grind right up to the tip, so it's got an amazing slicey edge, and obviously going to last a bit longer. The other difference is this has the open back construction, and this has the back spring. Well, it's not a back spring, it's just a filling tab, if you like, because it doesn't have a back spring, but it means that it's enclosed. So there's a lot of people like to blow through and things like that, whereas this, you have to maybe get something in there. You can blow it out, but you may have to get a cotton bud in if you want to clean it out properly. And the difference, having this titanium back here, there's not that much difference what else they've got, but this one weighs 2.3 and this one weighs 3.3, so there's exactly an ounce in them. Does that matter in your pocket? Not to me. I couldn't have told you this was an ounce heavier when I was holding it and using it. I just couldn't. So, but I mean, again, like everything else, like this is a thinner behind the edge. This one is definitely lighter. So there we go. You take that for what you want and what it means to you. The price for this, $277, and this is not far off it, if maybe it even exceeds it now. So that's the price range you're talking about. This is the big difference for me. This is the all blacked out. Doesn't, it looks a bit scary when people do it. I mean, you don't have to have these blackout scales. You can have the yellow scales I had or whatever. That would cut the price down if you just had kept them. But to me, just looking wise, if you're going to carry these in your pants, most of the times they're in your pants and not out of your pants. And I just think this little clip sticking out of my pants to that little clip sticking out of my pants, that just looks nice. And it slips in. It's fairly deep carry, and it's probably close to this. Yeah, there wouldn't be that much difference. Sorry, I'm showing you up there. They're both really deep carry, and I love this being deep carry, and there's no screw or anything on it. I love the checker on this. It really gives it that sort of gun stock feel, and after all, it is a gun stock. But again, this is a lovely smooth. It's lovely. It really has, look, if you can see, it is just beautiful lines all the way around it. And there's milling at the top here, which I'm not, let me just show you the milling. Let me do my magic trick. Can you see that? There you go. It's lovely swooped. It really is finished well. And down here, you even got a pinch grip, which I think is lovely, because I would use this sort of knife in that grip. But it's beautifully done. Beautifully done. There are two knives that you would find hard to pick fault with. Well, not doing this very well. There we go. They'd be very hard to find fault with, because there is no fault with them. But don't think that this is a slip joint version or a locking version of a slip joint. It's not. This is a bona fide frame lock modern knife. It's not just a throwback to something in the past. It really is that frame lock, just a modern knife with given that little touch of the gun stock shape. But it's not an old-fashioned knife. It is all the modern materials, just like this bug out. In fact, in this case, I think they're better, just based on the blade alone. And I think the opening method is better for me. I enjoy it better than I probably do the axis lock. But maybe I'm scarred, like a child that's been given a broken doll. Maybe I'm scarred from getting the broken. I'm only joking. This is a fantastic knife. This is a fantastic knife. But I just wanted you to see them up close. Don't be thinking this is just an upgraded old traditional knife. It's not. It's ultra modern. The amount of hand finishing that goes in this knife compared to that, and they're both the same price, but the amount of hand finishing to get this to the standard it is massive compared to this. This is just a product run, all comes out screwed together, and that's it. There's hand finishing, there's more of an artisan feel to this. But in the pocket and to bring out in front of people, this every time. Absolutely every time. And again, I just two-hand open it most of the times. It's not that complex. And it's like, especially having the ball bearings, it takes nothing to pull this out and close, and it's not scary. So, in conclusion, there's the big... What would I advise somebody who's thinking of stepping up to this price range? You know, as much as I love my bugout, and it is a beautiful knife, if you were to ask me, well, I don't know. They're both flipping good knives. It really is what you want. I mean, I loved this when I went and got it. I love this one. Two great knives. I just feel that you're getting more for your money with this one. That's my honest opinion, and that is my personal opinion. Both of these are not prying knives and poking knives. Both of them have got thin tips. They're not meant for prying and poking. This is just a slicing knife. Does it do that? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, if, you know, here's another Benchmade. If I want to do poking tasks and whatever, this is a knife I'm going to pick because it's got a good sturdy tip on it. It's been proven to be a poker, a pryer, really nice knife. To get another titanium one, here's one of my favorites. This is a Spidey Chef, and don't let the Spidey Chef thing put you off, because it's not really a Spidey, you know, a chef's knife. It is in that nature, and I do use it like that. But if I want a bit of work done, there's a good strong tip on that. Let me tell you, this is a great EDC knife as well. Really love carrying this, really feel secure, and I'm not outgunned by anything. So there's other knives to do the prying and poking. These are everyday carries that are the top of the range. These are at the top of the range, and it really is what you... Are you somebody that likes to flick it out fast? I'm just not that. I'm more for this. There you go. I've given my opinions, and we'll all have different opinions. You'll all have different opinions. Down below, which do you think? Have you tried, have you tried one of the Jack Wolf lockers against something like the Benchmade bugout? Because when you put it down in front of you and you see it, it really does make you have a second thought. My God, that is really nice for what you're paying. You know, to me, it is a much more high-end feel to it compared to this, and yet the materials are the same. So that's not running this down. The materials are the same, and they'll do the same job. They'll slice. This one will do a little bit better, and my worry is always the axis lock. But apart from all that, just as two knives that are going to cut, you couldn't pick much better. You couldn't pick much better, and that's in my eyes. You just couldn't pick much better. I hope you enjoyed this different sort of review of a Jack Wolf knife, and it's the first time I've really put it up against another knife. And if you want, the next time I can put it up against one of these. Do you know what I mean? Because this is a frame lock, that's a frame lock. So, but I just wanted to do this one, and maybe the next time I have a locking knife, I'll put it up against the Spidey Chef. Again, it's going to be in that price range. The Spidey Chef's a bit more expensive, but it's in that price range. So if you've liked this, please let me know down below, and I'll see you on the next locking Jack Wolf knife, and we'll put it up against this boy. So there you go. I'll speak to you later. We've got a podcast tonight. Please join in. We have Donnie from Jack Wolf Knives coming on for a chat with us. Ben hasn't been too well this week. He's doing fine, but he's letting Donnie take the reins tonight. So it'll be nice to speak to Donnie. I haven't spoke to him for, over a month now. So we'll see you then at 7:30 UK time. Me and wee Judd will interrogate Donnie. There you go. Oh, by the way, my Canadian brother, the Singing Toad, sent me his new sticker, and I thank him so much. I was really chuffed when I got it. Absolutely chuffed. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I think you've done an amazing job, or whoever designed it. That is classic. That is a classic. All right. Take care, folks. And by the way, go over to the Singing Toad and just sub to him, because he is a really nice fella. To do that and send it all the way across here, he didn't even prompt it. I hadn't asked. I try not to ask anymore because the price of postage is getting ridiculous. But I want to thank him very much, and I really, really appreciated it. And right, that's it. I've started. Oh, I'm waffling already. Right, goodbye, everybody. Have a nice day. See you tonight if you're at the podcast.